Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Team 1 is in the northeast, also known as a red team. Team 2, also known as Team Blue or blue team, in the southwest. Starting off with the orange, the color orange player in the central point on the map. It is Volin going first line as a UEF. He is almost a 1600 at 1595. And to his north, even closer to his 1600, is Bladam going first line as another UEF in Chevy Crimson. He is 1599. And last but not least, for Team 1 in Ruby Red is Looney Shako going first land. He is a Cybern. He is in Ruby Red, and he is almost at 2200 at 2195. The highest rank on Team 1 and in the game overall. So for Team 1 side of the map, there are 2 UEF and 1 Cyber. No Seraphim and no Aeon. Here centrally for Team 2, it is Sulfur 1 going first lane as a Seraphim. He is in Amethyst Purple at a 1721 rating. To his south in Royal Blue, we have the Flying Olsen going first land second there. He is a UEF, and he is a 1729 rating. And to his northwest in Stitch Blue is the highest rank on Team 2. It is a Zeros going first land. He is a Seraphim. He is at 1927 rating. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim and 1 UEF, which means they don't have any Cybern, which also means that for the entire game, there are no Aeon players represented. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess. I hope that you will enjoy the game nonetheless. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reclaim before our players scoop it all up. And on this map, there's 400 mass in reclaim. That's it. For 6 players, that's only like 600, not 600, 60-ish mass per player. That's not a lot of mass. Well, let's see how the mass points look out for Team 2 and Team 1. We'll take Team 1 side of the map and look at. There is a Trimex position over here on the northwestern side of the map. In that corner, there's a Quad Mechs here, another Quad Mechs back here. There is a Quad Mechs to the left. So at least each player on Team 1 will have a Quad Mechs, a couple of other mixes. And in the middle, they'll I mean, maybe these two will be fought over in terms of one play. They are decently far away, maybe not. I don't see a lot of mexes being really fought over. There are corner mexes that both teams probably want to grab. But besides that, not only is there essentially 0 mass in reclaim, there is essentially not a lot of mass points. So it's going to be hard fought going after upgrades, going after mass FAFs, going after RASCOMs later on. And looking at this map, it's not super specific to Twin River, but it's, you have, a small little island, some water, and the main landmass. It's kind of similar to Twin River. It's not, a perfect facsimile, but it kind of has the spirit of it. We do see movement out here from both teams trying to, again, secure the map. There's only 3 players on each team. And, there's a lot of ground to cover for our players to, traverse and get to the central points on the map. I will speed it up just to 1 to get us to the point where it's a lot of action. And let's see where everyone is headed. We do see a bomber outbound here from Team 1's Bladam. And we do see a nice little scout to the way north here for Sulfur, trying to deny these T1 mexes that are being built by this engineer. That engineer will be killed off here, and that mex will essentially be killed off as well. There are actually more engineers en route, and if Bladam isn't paying attention, he will not notice his engineer dying, and doesn't know realistically if he'll... no, those engineers are going south, but that'll be fine. But besides that, that is, I think, the first casualty of the game. There is a bomber flying over the top here for Team 1's Bladam, going after engineers. Looks like he will not drop on those. We'll continue south where there are engineers getting on a transport. That transport is out of there. And that bomber, what was it going for? Looks like it's going for these engineers here. We'll grab 4 kills there, and we'll slow it down a little bit because it is starting to pop off. We do see, again, grouping in the middle here for Team 1 and Team 2. It's 2 comms in the middle for Team 2, 2 comms in the middle for Team 1, with each of the mirror players, the one on the west and one on the east, going for the naval side of things. So Zeros, the highest rated player on Team 2, going for the northern Navy, and Team 1's highest rated player of Looney going for the Southern Navy. Looks like it might be just a trade in that regard, very similar to the last ladder match that we had. We do see gun damage range on the way here for Flying Olsen in the middle. And we do see a couple of tanks moving in to intercept these strikers. And is there a Lobo in there? No, just all strikers. They're going to fly or scurry away in the face of that Bloodam UEF commander. And it does look like there is some assistance outbound from Sulfur to assist. We're trying to get his teammate repped up very, very quickly with that upgrade. Do love the teamwork in that regard. Spending a little bit of mass to assist, but that mass will go a long way in securing the middle of the map. I'm not going to mention in Reclaim, it's not, besides kill, it's going to be more advantageous to actually go after and kill units, at least this early in the game, and then go after its mass than it is to just go after the mass that's on the map. We do see bombers over the top here for Team 1's Looney. Going after the engineer will kill off the engineer, which is most important because no longer does Team 2 have the ability to build any infrastructure. But there is a Team 1 mechs and a nice little radar. But it looks like Team 1 is trying to secure the northwestern section of the map and almost maybe try to lock out Team 2 from the Navy in that regard. We do see Naval has been constructed here for Team 2 as well, so it's going to be, not a clean sweep here for the Naval player of a Looney. That gun range damage is not done yet, surprisingly, even with some assistance. Looks like Sulfur stopped, and that upgrade has stopped. And I think both of the players in the center, yep, we see Team 1's Lagavulin going for his gun upgrade. It's UEF versus UEF, so no advantage in technology or hit points or anything in that regard. Just straight calm on calm UEF action. But I don't see much of anything else going for the north besides a couple of engineers going for this facility up here. So Team 1 is going to dip their toes into the western side of things as well, but more facilities are coming online and frigates are already starting to pour their way into the central point on the map. That frigate will finish off very, very quickly, but there are a couple of units here for Team 2's Flying Olsen. Is that Flying Olsen? Yeah, it's Flying Olsen. Going after that little frigate. Frigate does not have torpedo capability or defense, so that frigate is, doesn't have any capabilities to fight back with. Team 2 has secured the southeastern corner of the map for themselves. Team 1 has now landed engineers up there to the northwest to secure it. And again, getting 2 mass a second here for Azuros is better than nothing. And we don't see any more raiding going on between Team 1 or Team 2. So most players are focused on upgrading, focused on production, that sort of thing. T2 is on the way here. Actually, not on the way. It is there for Looney. He's going for Navy and for Air, which, to be fair, every naval player needs to have at least a T2 air facility. Cannot change my mind. Being able to produce your own bombers, your torp bombers specifically, whenever you need to, highly important. We do see the comm of Flying Olsen going after a couple of the units, raiding Lagavulin's comm a little bit. That upgrade will finish. It will not be stopped. And Bloodam trying to run rough shot in front of Flying Olsen to intercept, kind of act as a body block, a nice little meat shield. And there goes that comm. The upgrade has been completed, and now it is a 2v1. We have the comm of Flying Olsen being... he was going to get walked down for a second, but it does look like at least one player on Team 1, Bloodam, is going to retreat and then hook back. I don't know if that has some strategy or not. Maybe try to trick Flying Olsen to move forward again. We do see Sulfur moving in to assist with his units, but a small detachment of units outbound from Lagavulin moving westward. There's nothing to defend against that push. So those units will get free reign. But again, there's not a lot of mass points in the middle of the map, so it's a bunch of territory to walk or hover or trundle or crawl or whatever word you want to use for traveling to get to anything of importance. We do see that gun comm upgrade here for Sulfur. It's starting to materialize. It's 2v2. The only difference here for Sulfur is that he has 500 less hit points than Bloodam and Lagavulin have. But honestly, 500 in this sort of scene isn't really that important. If it's a murder-suicide situation, it's not that bad of an issue, but it's only an issue if it's cascading. So, Flying Olsen dies, then Bloodam dies, then Sulfur dies, then Lagavulin dies, and everyone's dead. Well, Bloodam is receiving a ton of firepower here. He's dropping below 2,000 hit points, and it does look like Flying Olsen is retreating. Bloodam just trying to get in the middle, and those units from Sulfur actually split apart to avoid the explosion. Some of them do get caught in it, but this is huge for Team 2. Team 1 loses the first player of the game at 10 minutes. And that is a nice team up there by Team 2's frontline players of both Flying Olsen and Sulfur. We do see that detachment of units to the east going after T1 mechs. And it might just continue on eastward. Unfortunately here for those units, there is a nice little comm of Looney over there. It will not go anywhere from that, but it does look like these units are actually going to go around. That is definitely the smarter move. Don't know if they know if the comm is there or not, but definitely a smart move in any case. Maybe they just want to get to the more sensitive structures. We do see the comm of Lagavulin leaving, obviously, due to the fact that both Flying Olsen and Sulfur are pushing. Does look like both of them actually do fall back a little bit. Sulfur might grab this position. Get a T1 mechs and grab some reclaim really quick, and then maybe go for that mechs. But establish a nice little frontline facility. Would like to see some engineers starting to come online here, but there's a couple of floaty, actually not even floaty tanks. They are the regular pillar tanks online here for Looney in the west, going after some Thams here. That tank will be fine for the time being. And that pillar taking out a couple of air units. It always is painful to just watch air units just be taken out by ground units that have no business taking out air units. Just absolutely no business. It's a little painful. It just goes to micromanagement and stuff like that. And, you know, in these games, it happens, and I get it. But it's still painful to watch. It does look like Team 2's Azeros has essentially locked out Team 1 in the Navy in the north, except for one frigate in the north, but that's going to be dealt with very, very quickly. So, has locked out Team 1. We see another attack outbound here, bolstered a little bit by a T2 Triad and a nice little pillar augmenting those forces. But now with Sulfur in the green once again, and Flying Olsen, again, he's taken a lot of hits, but he has 1-star veterancy and is almost actually up to 2, to be fair. That Triad is still online, firing into Flying Olsen's comm. That's never fun to deal with, of course. We do see Team 1's naval power starting to pressure Team 2 as we see a couple of torpedo launchers, not really effective in small numbers against, I mean, if you get T2, that's essentially it, which Team 1 does have. And Team 1 does not have T3 Navy, no, T3 Navy, T3 Air, neither does Team 2. But Team 2, neither of them going for it. So this is one of those games where air isn't playing that much of a role besides just torpedo launchers. Torpedo bombers, excuse me. Outbound from Looney. I would not be surprised to see probably Azuros go air. I can just see it with all the engineers he's building up. He's going for those P-gens. I can definitely see it. I mean, but to be fair, Flying Olsen has already started the T3 upgrade, so we'll have possibly 2 comms on Team 2 with T3 air technology. Team 1 will only at a minimum have 1 for the time being, and still the command has not been given to go T3. That's definitely, I mean, he wants to pressure the Southern Navy. I get that. You have 2 comms in the middle here for Team 2 pressuring that front line. That comm of Lagavulin can only do so much walking back and forth, considering the fact now we have a nice little run-by attempt here from the Amethyst Purple player of Sulfur. He has a couple of Team 1 tanks, has actually a couple of flak as well to protect against any Team 1 bomber spam. And now, like I mentioned before, Lagavulin trying to intercept with what he can, but is just walking back and forth constantly. It's really hard to micromanage just the comm itself. You need more units online, and that means more production. And I don't think, I mean, Looney is diverting some units over in that regard to intercept, which is good. And this will stop that push, but again, it just comes down to the APM of Team 1. We do see Azuros is in the northwest corner of the map doing something. What are you doing? He's getting a Team 1 land. Are you going to go for Zooey spam, and you're just going to, like, float Zooey across the water? Is that what you're doing? Why is he going for T2? He's going to build, he's going to build missile launchers and launch them across the water. That would be fun to watch. That will be fun to watch, I will say. T2 Navy being very, very focused here by Looney, going for those Salems. And he's constantly pressuring Team 2's infrastructure. T2 Navy also online here for Sulfur. And, I mean, with a T1 spam, it's doing a decent job against those Salems because the Salems don't move. But now at this point, the T2 Navy actually has been reclaimed. Like, it's not even worth it at this point here for Team 2 to invest. And they will scoop up the mass and say, nah, we're good. I don't want to worry about it. T3 Air is online. T3 Air almost online here for Team 2's a 0. So again, 2 players on Team 2 having T3 can be very, very dangerous, especially when your opponent doesn't even have T3 yet. That could be early bomber spam, and that could be devastating. Ilshi's now online here for Sulfur, pushing back those T1 forces outbound from Lagavulin. Ilshi's getting some nice veterancy. We'll have to get a couple more kills to get to T2 or to 1-star veterancy, but they are facing some tanks, so there is some steep competition to deal with in that regard. Missile launchers have started to appear in the form of those cruisers, and with T3 online T2 online in the northwest, he's still not doing anything with them. Built a couple of AA and called it good. Don't know if he's going. Maybe he's waiting for his mass bar to fill up or something. No, he is positive. He has 5,000, almost 6,000 mass in the clip, so I mean he has some mass to play with. But he has T3 Air now, and now Team 1 has secured the Southern Navy. So again, Team 1 in the Northwest having secured the Navy for a while. T2 gunships, both those very nice. Interceptors can deal with those, of course. They were the T3 variety that Seraphim do not have access to because they just don't have T3 gunships. So they were if they were broadswords or restorers or whatever, those interceptors would be dead on the spot. But with hover tech coming online here for Team 1's Looney, and this is going to push all of that fleet back. There's no destroyers online. Very, I mean, he probably should have thought of having a counter for hover, to be fair. But he is going for T1 PD up here, so I will protect his comm up there. So, I mean, and those units aren't moving as quick as they should, and with the AoE spread on board those missiles, they are doing a decent amount of damage, taking out 2 at a time there. And more are building up. Those units need to move, or those are just free kills for those cruisers. Is there a destroyer online? I think that's a destroyer. I can't tell. I think it looks like a destroyer. I'll have to see the icon when it emerges. But Team 1 now starting to proliferate that front line for Team 2. Team 2 has fallen back in pursuits of going for upgrades and going for teching up. We do see Sulfur is nearby with T2, and we do have Flying Olsen at 2-star veterancy. But the western side here for Azuros is going to be overrun pretty soon by those tanks. Bombers flying over the top, trying to just slow this push down. There's no AA in the mix. Definitely a missed opportunity for Team 1's Lagavulin being able to knock out those gunships. Does have 1 interceptor, but again, 1 interceptor is not enough with T3 ASFs online. And there is that strike bomber that I was looking for. There it is. T3 Air is now online, and the PGen has completed, or almost completed. But there is a bomber, and it is flying over top, and that is not going to feel good here pretty shortly. T3 AA being spammed as quickly as it can be, but 2 pigeons are down. And that pigeon looked like it blew up, but it didn't, which is really weird. It just had that effect. Bomber going to circle over top. Is going to kill off all those engineers. Bomb drops, takes out the other T2 pigeon. Sorry, T2 pigeon. A ton of interceptors fly over top and kill that bomber very, very quickly. And it was definitely worth the mass, 1,100 versus essentially 1,500, but could have easily maybe taken out a ton of engineer support. And ASFs are now going to start construction here for Team 1. And with those cruisers in position with 2 destroyers, those were destroyers being built, countering those hover tech units. They cannot get close enough, and even if they do, those lasers open up, and that is it for them. That's enough to force them back for the time being. More of them need to be built up at the same time to punch on through. And Azuros in the northwest just gonna ring those mexes, just hang out, just play a little SimCity up there. It's no issues with that. He's microing everything else, so I don't blame him in that regard. Gunships rushing after T2 mexes against Lagavulin. Decent amount of casualties for those gunships, but 1 mex is down, 2 mexes are down, excuse me. These facilities just pumping out skyboxers. Now they're gonna deal with those gunships pretty quickly, but the damage is done. 3 mexes are down, and they are moving on their way here to the north against those forces now under the control of Looney since the death of Bladam. And the land invasion has occurred both from the naval side of things with those Salems and the actual ground side of things with the T1 spam. We're going to see a lot of Medusa here pop online here for Team 1. We see an attack outbound for those comms in the middle here from Lagavulin. Flying Olsen is starting to be surrounded. Lots of missile launchers in the lineup here. Definitely not what should be running at the comm, considering those missile launchers they track and If a comm moves, then they'll shoot where he was and not where he is, and not the best scenario. The Strat Bomber over the top will kill off a couple of those units retreating. Get some nice mass killed, almost at 4,200 mass, already paid for itself and then some. We do see gunships in the back, and this is a huge thing here for Team 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, those don't count already dead. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mexes. There's a T1 line of spam starting to be established. Those will force those gunships away. They might even get 13 if they go right here. Will they go for it? Yes, they will. They're going to go for this one just to be secure. But 13 mexes, 14, maybe even 15 if they go for that. ASFs are going to be able to kill those gunships off. But again, 13 mexes killed off by a bunch of gunships. T2 at that. That is huge for Team 2 in terms of the eco. And taking a look at ecos between the teams, Team 2 at 450 eco, Team 1 at 350. I keep saying eco mass. And Team 1 at 350. 100 mass more for Team 2. And they probably need to start spending it on defenses and stuff, just due to the fact that they have this threat in the west, or sorry, in the southeast. Well, I don't know where my directions and whatnot go when I cast. I'm, perfectly fine. I worked from home today. I had some paperwork and stuff I had to deal with, some certifications and whatnot, so I didn't have to go out for work. Go out in the sense of like leave home, but for some reason my brain is just mush. Don't know why. And I've also been playing a little Helldivers, so I have bugs on the brain, so that also does not. Very fun game. Highly recommend it. You're probably, some of you are probably thinking, why didn't you get it when it came out? Like, I was busy doing other stuff. But I do have it. I'm gonna play it after the cast today. I'm very excited to sit down and play it for a couple hours. I've already done a little bit of going after the bugs, but I'm just excited to kind of just do just a couple hour run. Anyway, we have the cruiser spam in the north continuing to just build and build here for Team 1. Again, with cruisers on Navy, two things happen, especially if you're Seraphim or UEF. You have mobile AA in the form of T2, and you have missile spam, which just does not stop. It does not stop, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's great. It is great. It's honestly probably not the best thing in Forged Alliance, but it's huge. That's one of the reasons I love Navy, is if you use it right, it is very, very powerful. And you could say that for anything, but specifically Navy, I feel like you have to use it correctly, or it's just a lot of mass you're burning. T2 cruisers now coming online here for Looney, and those gunships are inbound, and I feel like the time for AA has passed. There is some bouncers over here, so they'll deal with those broadswords, but they're targeting the T2 naval headquarters, and they will be pushed back. One of those gunships does get taken out, so Team 1 can't land anymore for now on the other side of the map against Team 2, but at least they have Navy on lock for the time being. So the consolation prize is always nice, but they definitely wanted to just have the land invasion continue to push. And at 23 minutes on the clock, we've already looked at the mass situation. Team 1 and Team 2 sharing about 50% of the map each. Team 1 has the eastern side. Team 2 has the western side. Team 1 has 2 players left. Team 2 has 3 players left. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And, of course, thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. Those missiles now trying to strike at anything and everything they can, because they've taken out everything of value in the north. And at this point, that's not the right player. There's the Zeros. This is the range that they can hit. There's a couple of mexes they can go after still. Those mexes that were killed off already once. And that'd be the second time those mexes would be killed off. But large groups of gunships running around here. Team 1 now spamming up a ton of mobile flag to deal with that. Oh, just shoot the radar. Just one of them. There's no gunship going after radar set. But now they're just going to go after the T3 mexes here against Looney. But there is those bouncers nearby. They'll rip through those bolters very, very quickly. Will they get that T3 mex? No, they will not. And it does look like the amount of ASFs Team 1 is producing will be able to start countering Team 2. At least somewhat. It won't be as much because Team 2's had a lot more time to build up said ASFs. But at least they'll be able to fight back and not just be kind of tied with your hands tied behind their back because they really don't have anything. Targets reassigned for other land structures here. It looks like everything is just being wiped out. This is going to play a huge role. Team 1 is catching up in the eco side of things, to be fair. Looney's at almost 600, at 600 mass income, and that is huge. We could see Nuke play. We could see artillery play. He could go for game enders maybe not right now, but soon. It could be, he could flip the game on its head. We do see a large army here for Lagavulin in the middle going after Flying Olsen and Sulfur's fire base here. There's some Team D being built as well as, of course, the shields being assisted. There are those spearheads, T3 mobile missile platforms. They just spam out a set of 4 missiles at a time. And we have 2 Percys leading the charge here with a bunch of shields protecting actually every single unit except for just a couple of units. And those missiles are raining in all the time. Otham's actually trying to be outside of the shield to try to distract most of the missiles from going after the actual shield emplacement. We do see, it looks like it will go to the engagement here, but the Othams outnumber the Percys. T3 tech versus T2, a lot of it being T2 here for Team 1. It can shoot through T3. We've seen skill sheets, we've seen all those units, but there goes the opening fire of those Mongeese, just rip apart that Otham. There goes another one. That one's gone, but those units are now coming into range. We have Zui raining in that T1 artillery. Those units are not moving for Lagavulin, so this is large amounts of value getting here from those Zui. Those Percys are down. The Mongeese getting a decent amount of value, of course, as well, but essentially this army is being ripped to shreds just by the Zui and the Othams alone. Random unit over here. Don't know how it got over there. But it's mainly the Mongeese that have kept this army essentially at bay here for now. And a lot of missiles. The shield is now down. Team 2 has to abandon it. Actually, both of these comms could just... they could assault. I don't know if the attack will go well, but they could go for it. And looks like the attack will start to materialize. Engineer's going to be wiped out. And it does look like both those comms will retreat. For the meantime, gunship coming online, going to bring an engineer here, going to scoop up reclaim or go after mexes or do something in that spot of the map. But now Sulfur receiving firepower from those mobile missile launchers. There's missiles raining in all around him. T1 mechs ringed up. That's, maybe it was T2 or T3 and then it was killed off. That would be my guess. But we do see some spy planes over top for Lagavulin getting, not Lagavulin, for Lunny. Getting some, I haven't called him Looney. Looney? I don't know. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. We do see some sniper bots now coming online here for Team 2. That's going to definitely force his army back. They cannot counter those sniper bots for the time being. And so at least for the time being, it's kind of a net, I'd say positive for Team 1 because a lot more Othams died than other T3 units. But essentially in terms of territory grabbed, essentially the same thing. Everyone owns exactly what they had 3 minutes ago. We do see some engineers going for a little bit of reclaim in the water left over, and we do see Team 1 has now grabbed the entire southeastern corner. It'd be really funny if he stole UEF tech, but he did not. It just takes super long to capture that it's not even really worth it. It's better to just kill, scoop the reclaim, and then go from there. Engineer's going to land on top of Riptides. That's that was rough. That was rough to watch. There is that Zui spam outbound here from Azuros' position that he did leave at some point. T2 land upgrading to T3. Looks like he might go for Othams to just sail, or not sail, but just, go across the water there. Looks like he's fallen back into the water. T2 has actually been paused for the time being. And Flying Olsen still keeping the front line with his teammate of Sulfur. He's actually really focused Lagavulin's forces over here to the eastern side of the landmass there. They could easily have gone west. There's nothing over here except a couple of PD back here. You can easily run over this position and take out a decent amount of T3 mexes. But they're focused over here to the east. And I feel like this missed opportunity essentially could be just, a couple of units. Maybe some Percys, Titans. Bring some Titans over here, go after some PD, go after some T3 mexes and call it a day. But no, all the forces are being forced here into the kill box essentially that both teams are creating. But now with a Fat Boy and a Chicken online for Team 2, those forces are not going to go any much further. Actually going to have to retreat. But brick walls starting to appear here in the southeast for Team 1's Lunny Chico, and his air grid is nice and plump. It's going for a nice little disruptor here pretty shortly, and has a nuke online, about a third the way loaded, and now a monkey lord. So building all of the nice toys here for Team 1. I don't see anything. Lagavulin just doing production, and it does look like Lunny's trying to go back and get to some of those mexes. But again, the cruisers prevent a lot of stuff from being built, so those mechs are essentially just dead for the time being. We do see those cruisers and a little Salem not nearby to prevent any sort of just units from patrolling here from Team 2. That's mainly just an early warning system being like, hey, I had units here. They're now dead. I wonder where they went. There's something over there. Sound like one of those villages from Minecraft. T3 looks like not building some ASFs. ASFs look like Nothas. It's confusing sometimes. T2 shield. Multiple SMDs are online. It looks like Team 2 has spotted the nuke. Yep, they know about it. And is any of the SMDs loaded? Actually, every player on Team 2 has their own SMD. None loaded, and none loaded. So as long as one of them loads, this isn't being assisted. It will. It's loading maybe pretty normal, I'd say. Crab is coming online. That's where most of the energy and mass is going for Team 1's. Lunny is going for that crab. Could have easily finished off that Liberator. I mean, he gotten at least one base killed, if not base and a half killed. They're too far spread out. Just one base killed. Are you going to snipe or something, says Lagavulin. T1 bombers. Don't know what he's going for with that regard. I mean, yeah, he could try to pierce the shields. I mean, even if he kills one of the SMDs off, there's two more of them. So it's not really going to... Oh, well, that's going to be annoying for Team 2. Azuros has started his construction of a Hovatham T3 artillery installation. And that fat boy pushes forward. That's what the the T1 Zeus, the attack bombers, are going after. And it still doesn't kill the fat boy off, but another wave is inbound. And there's some artillery raining in. The fat boy is dead. A huge assistance from those T1 bombers. ASF's not coming and dealing with that, but it's a little bit too late in that regard. Lightning Tank was pretty good about taking out a second volley of them, or a second strafing run. Jeez. But Sulfur has 2 chickens, and Team 1 has 1 crab, wherever it went. Don't know where. Oh, nope. It's probably on... Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to say, it's probably on screen. I don't even see it. And there it is. But 2 chickens, if they can get in range, can kill a crab. Just the crab's going to have a lot of nice early damage. But once the chickens come into range, the 2 of them will be able to kill it. Especially if one chicken dies on top of the crab, then it's just game over. But look at all the yellow dots flying around, all those missiles, and those chickens are trying to dodge. Bob and weave, boys. Bob and weave. How is the disruptor coming along? It's in the yellow, about to cross into the green here pretty shortly. Team 1's player of Lunny has 760 mass per second. That's a ton of mass. Azuros has almost 600. His artillery has 2 P-gens so far. It just needs to... 1 shield. I get you don't want to waste the time and the mass right now to build the shielding for the artillery, but it's better to build 1 shielding and protect it from just a random bomber or artillery piece than spend all that time and energy to almost get it done and then have it just die. And the crab, using its environment to shield it from the firepower from the chicken, will kill off one of the chickens so far. It's going to back up and then turn. This chicken, I think its main objective is just to get into that air grid and kill everything off. All of those units here are bottled up by the environment. Now it's a disadvantage. Those units really can't move anywhere. Nuke will launch outbound from Team 1. Will it go? Where will it go? SMD not loaded. SMD loaded. SMD is loaded, so that base will be protected here for Azuros. And that chicken will die right before the disruptor. And the Ion Storm kicks off, going to do a lot of damage to that Megalith. I don't think he'll kill... Oh, he might kill the monkey. And ASF fight over the top of the air grid here for Team 1. And there is that Ion Storm, of course. Looks like it's ended for there. And there is some AA underneath these ASFs here from Team 1. But Team 2 has a nice little land army coming to engage from the northwest, trying to take out Lagavulin's production. And essentially, Lagavulin is almost knocked out of this game. Doesn't have a lot of facilities left online. Monkey here says Flying Olsen. So Team 2 going to have to deal with that here pretty shortly. And Ironstrom doesn't kill off the experimentals. Did a little bit of damage to the air grid, but not too much. Artillery is online. And now these Authams will engage the spam that is those Riptides outbound from not Lagavulin, that is Money. Artillery has now finished for Team 2's Azuros. And I wonder if Team 1 knows about it. They know some structures are there, but they don't know what it is. And Team 2 should know about the artillery. Yeah, they definitely know about it, so definitely should be targeting that immediately. There's actually no shields surrounding that disruptor. That's not the best idea. Azuros, your main target should be the enemy artillery. I mean, you're going to get the air grid as well, so that's a 2-for-1. Why would you not? Another crab in the east. Team 1's Lunny's pumping out those experimentals. I feel like at this point he can start shifting into maybe game ender production, scaff this, get some engineers from Laga and go for maybe a Mabor. And now the Authams rotating northeast to deal with the UEF facility here for Luna. Actually, he has engineers so from UEF, so he doesn't have to worry about being gifted over any. But walking a shield in the middle of your enemy's front line, not protecting any units. There's a nice little E-storage right there. You can blow that up. Get some nice little spread damage on those triads. They're focusing the engineers. Just little. I mean, I know he's probably busy doing something else. That's why they're not as microed. But those Authams now rip everything to shreds. They some AOE spread and all of those T3 mixes. They're going in for the back line, taking out all of the income here for Team 1's Lunny. And it does look like artillery's landing. I mean, again, going to build a second disruptor here. So shields did come online here. Oh, Lagavulin takes a shot to the face. Oh, yeah, get out of range of that pigeon. You'll die. Get back underneath that shield coverage. I don't know where you were going. You're probably going over here, but ouch, that's got to hurt. How's that artillery doing for Team 2? Well, there's a Fat Boy. Not Fat Boy. There's still a Monkey Lord back here that Team 2 still hasn't dealt with. And that artillery has taken out the air grid for Azuros. He's building another P-Gen because he just needs the power. And that Monkey Lord has killed off almost 50,000 mass, almost a 5-star Monkey Lord. And Sulfur's over here, I think, trying to chase it down or trying to intercept it. He has Nano, I think the regular Nano T3 and gun, so some firepower. PD is online, taking out the Monkey Lord's hit points, but now it's at full HP. Can't get any more bumps and hit points now. Team 2 doesn't have a land invasion to worry about, so that's nice for them. But now an attack down the middle here from Lunny. They're just being attacked from multiple sides. Oh, probably could have gone after the artillery. I would hope that they know about it at this point. Still don't know about it. They probably would assume if they noticed. Oh, I mean, they're definitely targeting it, so they probably assume that's artillery. But, I mean, probably could have actually gone after that artillery, to be fair, but just didn't. Gunships going after the weakened Monkey Lord to the west. Black trying to get after those broadswords, but Monkey Lord needs to just turn around and go back into the range of that flak cannons. Those look like the Monkey Lord will be able to survive for the time being, but Team 2 doesn't really have a lot of land defenses to deal with this sort of engagement. Artillery from the T3 artillery, but the shields were down for a brief second. T2 going to be built. Looks like they did take a hit to the face. That's got to hurt. And artillery's landing onto... Oh, will it kill the Monkey Lord? Oh, nope, it misses. And Authams moving into range. Those experimentals are pretty weakened, to be fair, due to their battles earlier on. So it might just be enough for Team 2 to have this. But the artillery is down. The Hubbatham is down due to the maybe two artillery pieces. Nope, it's just one. One artillery piece chew through all those shielding. Very surprising because they were Seraphim shields, but there weren't a lot of Seraphim shields, to be fair. There's only like one. We definitely have, exercise and build more shields. Gotta build more. Can't build enough. Gotta build more. The Megalith will be killed off, and the chicken soon to come into range of that Fat Boy. Not Fat Boy. That's a Fat Boy. That's a Monkey Lord. Team 1 in the northwest has started to deal with all of those incursions from the water here with that crab and assisting T2 and T3 units. Disruptor. Look, there's a lot of assistance going on. Some of the air grid did get taken out eventually, but Lycopolene is now retreating to the east. Second nuke almost about to load, and secondary air grid is being established here by Lunny. Love to see that, and it's actually further away from the air grid over there, so no stray shots will easily take that air grid out. So love to see that. And the artillery actually going to rain on the SMDs and the Duke that's being built. That's got to hurt. Team 2's got to get some something in the furnace to really deal with this from Team 1, or Team 1's just going to steamroll them. And that is, again, the downside with full share or even partial share, is the fact that giving over an entire player's worth of mass to somebody else, and if they know what they're doing, they can do a ton of work with it. And Team 1, they were on the back foot for a while, but now they're coming back, and now they're leading the game here. That Duke needs to be top priority here for Team 2, or go for something else. But you got to make that transition sooner rather than later. This position isn't really being microed as much because there's other things going on. T2 Navy, I mean, it's probably not going to upgrade to T3, at least at this stage. And Team 1's Lycopolene still hanging in there. A lot of his mexes were taken out, but still hanging in there. SMD's online. Isn't loaded, but it's online. Team 1, that's their only SMD. So if Team 2 had a nuke, they could probably end the game right here. But A, they don't have a nuke, and B, I don't know if they prepped for that, because that could have just been we just took out their SMD. We don't have enough time to build a nuke to really make it worth it. We're not going to do it, kind of thing. And now with the second artillery piece coming online here for Team 1 pretty shortly, it's not going to feel good. Nuke to the west, going to take out this position. He's kind of tired of it. T3 naval, the T3 land headquarters will be wiped off the face of the planet. We do see naval facility down here. That's at T3. I think he's wishing he had the Aeon tech for those missile ships at this point. But then you wouldn't have the cruisers for missiles as well. So it's kind of a hit or miss. He could go for the aircraft carrier missiles. Good for those, but let me focus on other things. Kaboom! Takes out all of those mexes to the northwest, as well as all those land facilities. That ends the land incursion for at least a little bit. There's still a decent army here. T3 float tech. Lots of Othams underneath the surface of the water. There are some bricks lining up, but that's a lot of Othams. That's especially with the artillery going to come to bear with those Hathums. That's not going to work, especially in that formation here from Team 1. Their main goal is to keep these disruptors online for as long as possible. SMD going to be built and going to be loaded as well as the secondary. That's definitely a good idea. The SMD is about to load, so they'll be fine in that regard if Team 2 does decide to go for nuke, which they haven't. And it doesn't look like they have any plans to. T2 Air is now online, going for T3. Built some transports to ferry units across the map. And, this position here for Flying Olsen is the main target for those two artillery pieces. His main goal is essentially keep that artillery building and keep, building those shields for as long as you can and maintaining them. Team 1, I feel like at this point, I probably can just speed it up just a little bit. Incursion in the north. Bricks try to fight back, but again, the amount of Othams just pop out of the line and go, hi! And the brick that does make it underneath the water surface will not last very long with all those torpedoes on board those destroyers and those torpedo defense from the Hathum. So we're not really going to get a lot of mileage out of those torpedoes from those bricks. Lots of engineers going to start hastily building wall sections, and I love the distribution orders, being able to build multiple things at the same time with one order. I do love that. It's such a great feature that they added to the game, especially when you have the mass for it. If you don't have the mass for it, that's different, but especially if the mass for it. Artillery going to rain in on the line of units moving in, and now Team 2 has bought some time for the artillery position to build up more defenses and actually build the artillery piece. The Othams being hemmed off by multiple wall sections, Monkey Lord, PD, everything. All of the land units fell back to intercept this force. There is a chicken online. That's not going to stop a crab and a monkey from pushing them back. The chicken will be forced to retreat. Looks like it's trying to get into that northern pond there, but Don't know if it'll make it there in time. Artillery now going to be retasked onto their original target of the artillery piece from Team 2. And how is it going? It's still in the yellow. There's a P-Gen badly damaged. That's never a good idea to have that P-Gen be that low. Needs to just assign an engineer to just repair it. Team 2, I mean, they had an Hathum. They lost it. Oh, sorry, a Havatham, not a Hathum. Mazercom says Azuros. Where? That's a Monkey Lord. Not a Telemazercom, or at least a Mazercom. He's down here. He has no upgrades. He has a little bit of efficiency. Not even 1 star. Nothing. Don't know. I mean, I know the Monkey Lord has sonar stealth and radar stealth, but still. Doesn't have vision. Doesn't have cloaking. But air grid being attacked once again by Team 1, not allowing Team 2 to get back in the air game. Where's that secondary air grid for Azuros? He's going to build another artillery down here. Going to build shields first. Should have built that first. I like how Flying Olsen says, this looks bad. It doesn't look great. I wouldn't say it's bad yet. It's definitely not great. And it's not... Oh. That's a nice little Air Force of Corsairs. And Corsairs, I think I know what they're going for. Okay, I'm going to slow it down back to 0. Grab Lunny, excuse me. Going to grab the central Corsair there. Go back to full vision, and there goes the attack order. As I surmised, it's going to go. There's the base in the distance. The attack vector, where are they? Oh, they're going for the Fat Boy there. That Fat Boy is going to get bombarded. There come the Corsairs. They're over top. Going to kill that Fat Boy very, very, very quickly. And there it goes. It did not stand a chance. Corsairs then go after the chicken as well a little bit. And the mask got killed off. Just insta-killed that Fat Boy. And there go the Corsairs spinning back around. Going to go after the chicken and kill that off. Both of those experimentals for Team 2 are dead in the land. I was going to say in the water, but in the land. It opens the door for those units here from Team 1's Lagavulin to come in and wipe out all the rest of those T3 Authams. And again, 2 artillery pieces online. Team 1 going to spam out some more nukes. They're probably hoping that the artillery kills off all of the SMD. Satellite online here for Lunny. That's definitely going to assist with that regard. SMD is down. The Duke is down. There's the SMD still online. And this SME is also online, so they have 4 anti-nuke missiles loaded. And it does look like the Havatham has started construction once again. And Team 1's just raining artillery fire, constantly not letting up. Tactical missile started for Flying Olsen. Might go for Billy Nuke here. Advanced nano repair started. Hasn't made any progress on it just as of yet. But, it does have it started, at least at someone. It has T2 air. But Team 1 owns both the land and the Southern Navy, which they haven't done anything with. They have 2 artillery pieces. Team 2 has none. They had one, then it got killed off. Nuke going to land in the west for a confirmed kill, going after 4 T3 Mechs. That's 100 plus. It's 108 mass. And that is going to land. Everything in the water moving around so they don't get... bombed out of existence, but the mass is the main target here for Team 1. And there it goes. Kaboom! Takes out everything. That really was of vital importance. There's some T1 PD still online, but again, importance at this point. Shields are down, and the SMD is down. More crucially, 1 more SMD remains. And once that happens, Team 2 is out of the game. Especially when that satellite's going to fly overhead. We have 3 monkeys coming online. Team 1 is leading the game by a mile at this point. 1,100 mass being produced for Team 1 per second. Team 2 at 648 and dropping, actually. Team 2, I mean, they need that Havatham, but they need a lot more else. They need air facilities. They need land facilities. They need units. They need mass. They need everything. And Team 1 just held the line. And honestly, I think I know who I'm going to give the MVP award to at this point in the game. I'll reveal it at the end of the video, but you might have an idea. And Flying Olsen just control Ks in the middle of land units. That's never a good thing to do. Kaboom, kills all of the land units. Oh, I mean, they were T2, but at least it was something. And those monkeys are going to march on Team 2's base. And it's now a 2v2 game here. 48 minutes on the clock. Running at +1 speed just because we see the way the game is going. And Team 1 does have a couple of issues up here to deal with at some point. There's 2 monkeys, but they should be fine. Not cool. 1v1 my comm. Sulfur 1v1. Where is Sulfur? Hold on. Where's Sulfur? Oh, he's up there. Okay. Nah, says Lunny. He said nah. SMD will fall here now with the monkey looking to target it. There it goes. Nuke can launch. Satellite over top. The nuke can launch. It is not loaded anyway, so that doesn't even matter. And yeah, it's not really going that way for Team 2. They had a lot going for them. Game got parsed. Sorry, says Sulfur. Probably hit the button by accident. And there goes the base. Looks like Team 2 Sulfur control Ks. And leaving Azuros left standing here for his team. His artillery piece will finish before the Monkey Lords reach it. But unfortunately, all that mass and energy devoted to that cannot stop the 3 monkeys and the land units, other land units, and the satellite overhead. There goes targets confirmed here for the Monkey Lord to engage. Engineers trying to build a chicken to respawn. That's not going to get anywhere. And like I said, the Hovertham finishes 99%. They tried to prevent the construction of it, but unfortunately for Team 2, it doesn't even matter. The Monkey Lord's right on top of it, and there it goes. Team 1 has won this game. Team 2 has some Navy and some spam in the northwest, and that is it. And at 50 minutes on the clock, I'm going to speed it up to probably 3. Just because it's just cleanup operations here for Team 1. Nuke launch. Actually, multiple nukes launching from those battleships. Where were those earlier? SMDs. Are they loaded? One is loaded. And the other one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? I think that's the first time I've seen that SMD. I mean, it would spun around that thing. Didn't think we could do it. This is like a balloon. But Team 1 wins the game with the evacuation order by Azuros. And that is the game here, folks. 51 minutes and 01 seconds. Couldn't be an even 51 minutes. But, of course, had to be that last little bit. Team 1's Lunny wins the game for his team, getting the base here from Bladam. He was suffering a lot in the northwest by the Navy. He secured the southeastern corner, kind of just left it alone, didn't really put a lot of energy into it. Did have a land incursion that he tried to do. Went, nah, it's fine, I'll just do other things with it. And then went for disruptors, and that's what won the game here for Team 1, was just those 2 disruptors. Had those chickens come into range and been able to take out that single disruptor, it would have bought Team 2 a lot of time, especially with the Hovertham that they built. And it probably would have changed the course of the game. I think that one defense was the turning point for Team 1 to push Team 2 back and defeat them. Let me know down in the comments who you think deserved the title of MVP. And please, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one.